Okay, so we are continuing in looking at problems that include multi-step problems involving percent increase and percent decrease. So if you turn to your Wednesday page, this is Wednesday problem 1. Go ahead and pause the video so you can read silently and choral read as a class. So in this problem, it looks like we have water skis that regularly sell for $248. If we are using our UPSC for understanding, our water skis are regularly selling for $248. There's a 20% off sale. One thing you can do when you're doing UPSC is you can circle numbers, underline important information, whatever really works for you. I don't like for everyone to use the same strategies exactly, just because for some people it makes more sense to do something another way. If it makes sense for you to circle numbers, then that's what I would do for you. One thing that we do want to always make sure of is that we know what the question is asking. So the question says, what will the sale price be? So that tells me that my units are going to be in dollars. My plan for this problem is still going to be a ratio table or a proportion. So here we have the part and total and 100%, just like yesterday's problems. It looks like the total cost of the water skis are usually $248. And they are 20% off. Now, there's two different ways I could do this. I could solve for 20% of this cost and then subtract it off of 248. I could also solve for 80% of the cost, and that would be my final answer. So I'm actually going to show you both ways and show you that either way, you can do the step at the beginning or do the step at the end. You're still going to end up with the same answer. This is why these problems are called multi-step problems, because sometimes we are going to have to solve for a value, and then we have to determine if that's the value they're asking for. They sometimes might ask, instead of asking what is the sale price, they might ask you how much money will come off of the price. And so it just depends on what they're asking for as to what value you need to take at the end and say, this is really my answer to the question. So right here, I'm going to cross multiply 248 times 20. One strategy that I use with my kids is multiplying numbers in parts. So using the place values to multiply. 200 times 20 would be 4,000. 40 times 20 would be 800. And 8 times 20 would be 160. And the way I know that is because I'm really multiplying these things by 2 and then just adding a 0. So when I add all these things up, my final answer would be 4,960 for this cross multiplication. My next step would be to divide that number by 100. And I know dividing by 100, I just take this decimal and I move it back two places. So the amount of money that we're taking off of the total price is going to be $49.60. But again, that is not the value that they are wanting us to find. Let me fix my... It's not letting me click on that. Let me just retype that. We needed a dollar sign. $49.60. That is how much we're taking off the price. So the question says, what will the sell price be? At this point, we would take 248 and subtract 49.60. I know by estimating that if my total is 248, I could estimate that to 250, estimate this to $50. So I know that my final price of the water skis is going to be about $200. At that point, you could see what your answer choices are and see what the closest answer choice would be. I would also recommend, after estimating and eliminating some answer choices, go back and solve exactly. If you have any answer choices that are close to each other that could both be possible, I would go back and solve it exactly. Okay, for our next problem, I would like you to go ahead and pause the video. I want you to read silently and then choral read as a class. So in this problem, an employee's hourly raise went up from $10 per hour to $12 per hour. And it's really the hourly amount that they're making. They got a raise. They went from $10 an hour to $12 an hour, and we want to know what is the rate of increase. Again, my plan is using I call them percent proportions, where we have part, total, and 100%. It looks like my original value was $10. My new value is $12. And sorry, I'm doing this wrong, actually. This would actually be a common mistake. Now that I'm actually thinking about it, this would be my total cost. It went up $2. So $2 would be my part. That would represent the amount that the rate increased, the rate per hour. So if I cross multiply here, 2 times 100 would be 200. Divided by 10, I just would move that decimal over. And this is a pretty simple problem to solve in your head. I actually used the wrong units there. It's not $20, it's 20%. So it's a 20% increase. So what that means is if I take 20% of $10, I would get $2. And then $10 plus $2 gives me that final hourly rate that I'm making. Again, to check your work, you could cross multiply these products, cross products, see if they're equal. 20 times 10 is 200. 2 times 100 is also 200. So these are equal. If you finish early, feel free to go to the very last slide on your tutorial slides and you will find some extra practice problems. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.